Welcome back to another weekly roundup of cloud gaming news brought to you by yours truly. Remember, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest in cloud gaming, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next video, and of course, if you enjoy the content, give the video a like, it helps the channel out a lot. But for now, let's jump into the news, and to begin, let's start off with our lesser known friend, PlayStation Now. So if you didn't already know, PlayStation Now is Sony's version of cloud streaming, allowing users to stream a pretty big library of games and download selected games to play locally. However, in my opinion, is the weakest of the streaming platforms with high latency, low resolution, and limited device access. PlayStation has been so very quiet about the service for a long time, while Microsoft ramp up their market presence with the ever-growing Game Pass Ultimate subscription. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this firstly before we jump into the news. Does Sony simply have no desire to compete in this growing and lucrative market? Or do you think they've been working on something behind closed doors that we may hear about sometime soon amongst the hype of the PlayStation 5? Let me know your thoughts in those comments down below. But for the month of October, PlayStation Now has added more titles to the service, similar to what we get with PlayStation Plus. However, what PlayStation Now doesn't make clear is the games that they've rotated out of the service on a monthly basis. And honestly, I'm never going to let them live down rotating out Marvel's Spider-Man, their own first-party title. What the hell, guys? But I digress. PlayStation Now games for October are Days Gone, which was a highly anticipated story-driven zombie survival title from last year, which ended up with disappointing reviews being described as interesting but impossible to take seriously. Followed by Medieval, the remake of the 1998 title to give you that warm, fuzzy, nostalgic feeling. Unfortunately, that nostalgia will be overshadowed with the frustrating, outdated controls which were brought into the remake, making it loyal to the original to a fault. And finally, just in time for spoopy season, we have Friday the 13th. A Dead by Daylight-esque multiplayer horror title pitting 6 survivors up against legendary killer Jason. Friday the 13th gives players the tools needed to survive and even take down Jason, and allows you to take on the role of Jason with the ability to track, hunt, and kill the survivors. This is a good one for the Halloween season and will hopefully inject a new player base into this previously stale online title. Not sure if my description of any of these games will make you want to run out and sign up to PlayStation Now, but I calls them like I see them. Moving on to Google Stadia. We previously talked about an experimental setting which allowed users to stream their gameplay over mobile data. This week, in a quiet move, they have officially released this feature, which can now be found under the Performance tab of the mobile app, moving away from the experimental settings. But with this move, Stadia have now capped the mobile streaming gameplay resolution at 720 in an effort to keep that data usage down, which they still estimate to be around 2.7 gig per hour. This is something we'll most likely see change across multiple services with the rollout of 5G, but for the moment, we're a long way away. Next, in Microsoft Xcloud Game Pass news, we have confirmation from Microsoft gaming chief Phil Spencer that they are indeed working on an iOS version which will be accessible via the web. This is answering the question we all had around why services like Microsoft and Stadia hadn't made this move after Amazon announced they would be releasing Luna first on iOS via the same method. For now though, we don't have a specific release date for this version, with it being stated in an internal all-hands meeting that they are targeting early 2021. Despite this being a welcome workaround to get Game Pass into the hands of iOS users, Phil Spencer is still adamant that they will bring the official app to the Apple App Store sometime in the future. Speaking of Amazon Luna, it's another week and no new information on their recently announced cloud gaming service. Despite early access signups being available since its announcement a few weeks ago, to date we're not aware of any users receiving these invitations, and we've had no update from Amazon in terms of new titles, release dates, new developer channels, or the prices of those additional channels. So if you had to guess, when do you think we'll get our first glimpse at Amazon Luna gameplay? Was this a premature announcement just to coincide with their hardware event and test the waters? Or are they quietly preparing for a big launch in the near future? Let me know your thoughts in those comments down below. With that, it's a new week, which means we have a new selection of titles added to GeForce Now, which I'll throw up on the screen here. A healthy selection of 10 titles in total after a quieter week last week. This includes Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, one of the 3 titles from the Epic Game Vault this week, and some absolute classics like the original Tomb Raider, so we can all enjoy locking that fucker Winston in the freezer all over again. And to round off this week's news, we have 3 games from the Epic Game Vault. We've already talked about the first one, Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, and the second title this week is a little bit more calming. We have Abzu from the guys over at Giant Squid, in case you fancy a nice, calming scuba dive. It's been a tough week. you've earned it. But that's all from me. So of course, if you enjoyed the video, you found it somewhat helpful, a like rating would be appreciated. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next video. Hope everyone's staying safe out there. And as always, I shall see you in the next one.